When did you realize that you had ADHD?
I mean, I was diagnosed 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think uni is when I was like, something is wrong. I was like, my brain, this brain is not going to be the brain that will take me where I need to go. Like, I was really, struggling with my symptoms and being Black woman, Nigerian, first daughter, all of that. Like, I wasn't allowed to struggle, but I was struggling. Me and you can have ADHD. We could be two completely different presentations of it. It's really important. I think the question was, as far as, I was on medication. What was the question?
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Have Drinks. I'm your host, Maeyo, and I'm very excited to be here because I have a guest. And this guest describes herself as a mixed bag, which means that we are in for something. Fun-loving, but always ready to get into all the fields, deeply human, deeply passionate about living life to the fullest, minister of why, because, well, why, and playful, but does not play.
Everyone, we have Valerie.
Hi.
Valerie's late to the party. I started the party without her, actually. A cup of Picanté. It's pretty much a spicy marg.
The bit extra, what I mean? It's not just a marg, it's a very spicy marg.
I like it, actually.
Yeah.
And I told him to do a tequila base. Do you usually do a tequila base? Is a marg a tequila base? I don't know. I have a whole show about drinks. I don't know this.
Usually there's a pepper in there as well. I don't think I see one. Usually a pepper in there as well, just for an extra kick. The kick.
Okay. Just a...
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I'm a fake hero back girl because I don't really like pepper, but this works. So that's why.
Girl.
I'm shy. I don't really
Don't tell people that one.
They know, like if they come with like, oh, we want to make like a stew. I don't really eat like rice and stew outside because I'm not sure how spicy your stew is.
Oh.
So that is my thing.
You're a Nigerian kaki with me.
Yeah. I can't. I like it. I like being Nigerian. Just on Yoruba, just that the pepper thing.
Okay, that's your one thing. Strike one
thing. Yeah, but hopefully everything else checks. Now you mentioned that a lot of your stories about drinks you don't like. Why?
Because I always fall off.
Well, is it a limits thing?
My thing is I don't know my limits. And then as well, I'll always be like, okay, I'm not drinking today. I will drink that day. I don't know how to like reel it in.
I feel you because I think all of the particular like drinks I don't take. Like I don't take Hennessy. I don't take
Ray and his nephew.
Who?
Ray and his nephew.
Who is that?
Ray and nephews. What is it? Rum. Ray and nephew.
Don't know that.
No. How do you not know Ray and nephew?
Maybe I do know it, but
you do know it. Yellow and green branding.
I don't think I do know rum.
Okay. No, Ray and nephew. That's my worst night. I was gonna write about that in my intro. I was like, no.
No, what happened? What happened with that?
All I remember from that night is just stepping out of our cab, going, as in my face hitting the... It was a good night though. It was a good night, but there's a sound I'll never forget. My face just...
Wow.
Because I fell tired.
Wow, the last one for mine actually made me not drink for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that? Tell me.
It was, I went for a friend's birthday. And we're doing shots, yeah? But then, I don't know, my math isn't great, So it was a double shot glass. But my eyes, I looked at it as just a normal shot glass. So I think I had 4 of that. Meaning that I had 8 shots. And then I was going somewhere else, so to Hard Rock. And a friend...
Nigeria.
Yeah, in Lagos. It's always in Lagos. Honestly, I feel like we're drinking nail polish in Lagos. Nail polish and engine oil. But I don't know, the liquor there is a bit
different.
Iffy. And then a friend comes to pick me up. We're going to Hard Rock. I get into the car. We get to the toll gates. I was like, wow, I can't see a thing. This is going to be a night. He parks at Hard Rock. I'm like, okay, can you find a plastic bag? I need a plastic bag. We're just like, it goes out, tries to find it, can't find a plastic bag. We get into Hard Rock. I go to the toilet. I'm dizzy. And then I go to the toilet. I was like, right, I need to use the toilet. I'm just there in the toilet. And someone knocks. are you going to be in there for so long? I'm just like,
I don't know.
I come out and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I just need to find my friend. Anyway, find the friend. I had to sit down somewhere that was like reserved. They're like, I can't sit down there. They didn't reserve the table. Yeah, she's about to die. So they allow me to sit there. I get my cat table and I'm puking in the middle of Hard Rock. So the music is going, do, do, do. I'm just like, wow. And then we finally leave and I started puking in the bushes in front of Hard Rock. And then someone from Twitter recognized me.
Oh.
And that was the last time I drank for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it gets to puking, that's when it's really, really fun.
It was so bad. Like I was just like, that was very irresponsible, but then my math is bad, so that is my excuse.
Yeah. What are you meant to do? Good as the girl.
Exactly. Thank God for good friends.
Right.
So, how are you doing today? How's your week been?
I'm good. It's been a busy week. You know, life of when you're trying to like make something shake, there's always something to do.
Okay.
So yeah, I've started a new design project with Koala. We're looking at partners as well that we want to work with. A lot in the works.
Yeah. My week too was busy. It's mine was I'm not trying to shake it. It's actually I'm trying to get things to be calmer.
Okay. But this is shaking. I mean, you're trying to, you know, like build something. That's what I mean.
Yeah. We could say that.
So what do you mean?
Like, you know when you kind of suddenly become kind of important at work and then you're having like multiple meetings about meetings and then you're wondering when am I supposed to do the work? Because I'm a product designer. Yeah. And
Me too.
Yeah, twins. And so like up until yesterday, Friday, I was working till like 5 p.m., which never happens on Friday. Like Friday I can cool off by like 2 or something and then do some personal development. I was in meetings till 4:30 and I said, this is not the life that I'm supposed to live right now. So I need a break. Right. But yeah, before we go into Koala, when did you realize that you had ADHD?
I mean, I was diagnosed 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think uni is when I was like, something is wrong. Something is wrong. I did ask for help, but the usual anxiety, depression, that's what they thought it was. But it was underlying all that. And I think it was around COVID when there was a lot of chatter and information online. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, there's a name for what I'm going through. Yeah. This is that. And then I got my diagnosis.
It's quite interesting. I think the reason why I actually wanted you on the podcast when I saw you on my TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah, it's always TikTok. I'm always on there. I saw that and I was at that point going through the process of my getting a diagnosis, which I haven't still gotten.
Okay, you're in it.
Am I even in it?
I mean, you're getting a diagnosis, right?
Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Because for this diagnosis part, the reason why I started thinking about it was I was going to my I saw you on TikTok and I was just like, oh, you know, someone that looks like me and is a million and is going through this thing. Because I've been trying to figure it out since like 2020, 2021. The first time I tried to figure out was in Nigeria, which I don't even know what's going on in that country concerning like dealing with like neurodiversity and everything. I find someone on Twitter. I just use social media. Yeah. And then it was like, I was trying to find like, where can I get an assessment done, something. So I need someone to help me. I feel like something is off.
Right.
Because I was struggling through uni. I remember reading for an exam. I had to turn off every single thing. Even the fridge. The fridge sound was so loud. I had to turn off the fridge. I had to take out the batteries from the clock because I was trying to read for exams. I was just like, I can't concentrate on this thing. Yeah. And it's just been a thing of a constant struggle with concentrating. Throughout secondary school, I slept in every single class. Right. Throughout uni, I slept in every single class. Right. I don't know, I passed. I read something like that. So I tried to do it in 2020. And then the person told me that, oh, what I'm dealing with is PTSD from my breakup.
Oh.
That is why I need to just get through that. Which, you know what? There was some truth with that. But then it wasn't until last year that I kind of figured out the process of how to start the diagnosis. So what was your process with like getting diagnosis, costs, experience? And I think the annoying thing about ADHD is like it's not like maybe fever or you have a rash or something. It's just a thing
it's not physical.
Yes. So how did you like get to explain it to Is it your GP? Like, how did you start generally? And did you go private, public?
I went private, and basically what had happened was I just moved to London, and I had a job. Everything was good. This is right after things started opening up. So this was 4 years ago. And all of a sudden, they made my whole department redundant.
Oh,
5 weeks into me moving
oh, wow.
to London. So I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of went into freeze, if I'm being honest. I had a party for my birthday. I went to Malta. I was like, this isn't real. This isn't happening. But then when my birthday passed, Malta passed, I was like, okay, this is real. I need to look for a new job. Like, I'm not going back to Ireland. So I then, but I was like, this brain
It's not breathing.
is not going to be the brain that will take me where I need to go. Like, I was really, struggling with my symptoms as well. I already was. So, to be fair, I started the process, but I didn't complete it. But I was like, I need to get this assessment. I need to get this diagnosis. I need help. And I went private. I have a video on the costs on TikTok. Altogether, it was 1.9K. Thankfully, I was already in my new job. I already started, and so that covered some of it, private healthcare. But yeah, I was like, I need that right now because I need to be able to get this job, keep this job, and sustain this job, keep my income, all of it.
1.9K is a lot. Like, my process right now, I'm trying to do shared care. So first I had to go to my GP. And they gave me an assessment, and I filled the assessments. By the way, the process it's not even easy. I filled my assessment, gave it back, and I didn't hear anything. And then I called them, like, it's been like 3 months since this assessment.
3 months.
What is going on? And then they finally like moved it forward to where I wanted to get the shared care from. And then I had to wait for like another 6 months or so. Is it? Maybe like 3 months. And they send like a link that I have to fill these forms. You're telling someone with ADHD to fill
forms.
10 forms.
Even your form, it took me like 2 weeks. I was staring at it. I had a window open, and I would come and stare at it for like the past 2 weeks.
But this
forms
doesn't make sense. Like, this is really difficult. I had to get my sister involved, and her partner involved because they have to give some history, and then did all of that. And then did not hear anything again. Then I heard something in December that you're going to have like 1 hour assessments with somebody. I think this was like 22nd of December. 24th of December, I got a message. Assessment cancelled. Something about funding. So I have to wait till April. So like this month is when it's going to open for like funding for, I think, maybe my council or something to be able to continue. And I think that particular barrier has been so frustrating because I feel like around maybe that December time, I reached a different peak of struggle.
You were stressed as well, right?
I was, even till now, have you tried to do something for 6 months? What, an application? The same application I open every single day for the past 6 months. And going through that has been so frustrating. But then after you got your diagnosis and you knew, okay, this is officially what is wrong with me, because a lot of people feel like what we see now is they self-diagnose. Like, there are these videos on TikTok. If you find it hard to leave your bed and then you can do this, then you have ADHD, which was kind of how I knew about it. And then I'm like, am I self-diagnosing? Am I reaching to the symptoms? So when you officially got your diagnosis, how did that feel like?
Okay, quick interruption. Now, if Let's Have Drinks feels like that conversation you've always wanted to have, I think it is time for you to subscribe wherever you're listening to this from. Also, follow us on all socials at Let's Have Drinks Pod. Rate the podcast, share on socials, share with your friends. Also, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Comment, like, do all the lovely stuff. It genuinely helps the podcast grow and helps more people see these conversations. And also, it just makes me know that you're enjoying the podcast. So, yeah, thank you for doing that. And let's continue on to the conversation.
Honestly, I remember being irritated.
What? Not relief.
No, because I knew it already. I think it was more just like, this is so irritating. I already knew this. And I mean, yeah, great. I can now use this to go do whatever it is I need to get, whether that be medication, whether that be support and X, Y, and Z. But it was more so, I think because I paid the money as well.
Yeah.
It's like, I've paid all this to tell me something that I already knew. And we self-diagnose for everything.
Yeah.
You have a rash, you see the rash, so you know, okay, so I've experienced this before. We all have, to a certain degree, we have enough pattern recognition to be able to connect the dots, right? So when you've experienced that, and then also I had done the assessment with a psychologist and a psychiatrist as well. So when we were going through everything, I passed with flying colors, like combined 9 out of 9 on one, 6 out of 10 on the other. It was really, or not even 6, 8 out of 9, I think, on the other one. So combined, it was really, really obvious. And, throughout my life, secondary school, primary school, I have always struggled. So it wasn't a surprise. I wasn't relieved. I was glad to know that there is something that exists. I'm not making this up. I'm not, lazy or this or that. That was important, but I didn't get that from the diagnosis. I already knew. I got that from educating myself and researching, which a lot of people do, whether they get a diagnosis or not.
I think a thing with ADHD is that you struggle with it all your life, and then it gets to your point where it's like, yeah, I think something's really odd because other people are not struggling with this thing I've been struggling with. What was it like your childhood, secondary school, uni too?
I think where identity comes into it, as in being Black woman, Nigerian, first daughter, all of that. Like, I wasn't allowed to struggle, but I was struggling. So all throughout primary school, even secondary school, I would start every single term like, I'm going to stay on top of my studies this term.
Yeah.
I will do all my homework on time. I will get everything done. And then 2 weeks in, it's already fallen apart. I would color my timetable to be like, yes, if I color it, I know I'll stick with it. If I do this, I know I will. You know.
I know, like all the different things. Even till today, I've had different ways to get things done. Yeah, I started this thing this year where I think I limited to 3 things a day. So one thing movement, one thing creative, and one thing is it work-wise? I didn't remember. That didn't last past January. The other one I tried maybe one time was to do the Pomodoro timer.
Right.
Did not work. Running a list did not work. Right now I just raw dog it.
Yeah.
And even in school, the only way I got my assignments done, I had this best friend essay. She always did our assignments. I just copied off her.
Right.
And I never read really until like the night before. So it's like those things, especially when you're called lazy, it is so painful. Where you're like, I can do this thing. I know I can do this thing. I just can't get myself to do it.
Yeah.
And another thing that I think also it was an identity that I embraced. I don't know about you. Which when you're like, she's possibly lazy, tired. I'm just like, you know what? I'm a tired, probably lazy person. Yeah, I realized at a point that it was actually, I was lacking some vitamins in my body. My vitamin D was literally right, and my iron was low.
Yeah, I had no iron as well. I had a fusion.
Oh, I had to get on like supplements, but for vitamin D, I think I had to get like 25k, like one really high dose for 6 months. And then I realized that all of those things, that negative things in quote, that I've identified myself with are things that were beyond my control. It was in that way, like just getting that type of, oh, your blood levels are really odd, that's why you can barely stay awake, was such a relief to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I'm actually not a horrible person that doesn't like to do things.
Yeah. I mean, it's really sad that I guess people project things onto us, and then, it's so easy to take it as, yeah, that is my identity. If anything, I think I did the opposite. So I was always trying to prove myself that, no, I'm really this, I'm really that. It's even now that I'm like, no, I'm someone I need to lay that. Yeah. I like to be on bed. I like to,
I don't like being horizontal.
I like it. It's now that I'm embracing it, because we all have our strengths. Like, and I think it's good to highlight that certain things like organization, and I think our strengths, I have strengths in other places.
Yeah.
And where it would be good for all of us to get to is that, okay, this is not your strength. So I may not have this expectation from you, but where it is your strength, I know that I can rely on you for that thing. And no one is good, no one is bad. We have strengths, we have challenges. That's where I land with it.
So what will you say are like some common misconceptions
about with ADHD? I think it can really look different for everybody. And a lot of people have co-occurring conditions as well. So you can have ADHD. Me and you can have ADHD. We could be two completely different presentations of it, because there might be a layer above that as well, which is like, PTSD or autism or dyslexia, or even with the assessment itself and combined, someone will have what do you call it, inattentive. Someone will have, and in women, socialization plays a part as well, because the idea of ADHD, you're a little boy running around.
Yes.
In what world was I allowed to, growing up, be running around the place? There was a high level of responsibility put on me. I was never that, but my mind has always been very busy. I always had a very busy mind. So when you're hearing ADHD is this, you're running up and down in this, you'll be like, no, that's not me. But then you'll be like, what is wrong with me? And it's like, no, you just present differently.
Very true. I mean, I feel like the way he presents in men versus women can be really different. When maybe it was being looked into and it was the little boys that were running up and down and not being able to pay attention in class, that is what was focused on, for not the girl that was daydreaming, not paying attention to, because she was quiet and not causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
No one really paid attention to her. And I feel like we just really mask a lot. I think also, and that builds on frustration, because to a large extent, a big part of my frustration was not being understood. And that is why, like, I like my life now, because then when I'm at home, for instance, my partner, I don't have any masks on. I can just be myself. But then when someone comes into my space, for example, if I'm hosting, there's a mask that comes off and I feel like I'm performing that frustrates me so much. So what do you think is a good way to get around that? Because again, I don't want to explain to you that, the reason why I'm kind of mute this morning is because my brain has actually not finished booting. Ran, I don't want to talk to you. But then it comes off as rude. Or you just don't pay attention to some things, for instance. So do you deal with that?
Yeah, as in masking.
Yeah.
I think
even at work too.
I think I've gotten to the point where, because for a while, me, pro-max, like masking, pro-mask, I think it got to a point where people are like, you're a social butterfly, you can do this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're my friend, you should know me. Yeah, that's why, yes, I'm great when you meet me, but then it takes me 7 business days to recover.
Very true.
Like, and then you can go out and then go out again the next night, and then you're like, wow, come on. I used to be able to do that. I can't do that anymore.
But honestly, what we're doing today, this is it for like the next 3 days. I can't do anything.
Yeah. That's it. Even with this, I had to budget my energy. There was something I was meant to do on Tuesday. Then I had something else on Wednesday. And I was like, okay, no, I have to do Saturday. So I can't do this thing on Tuesday because I won't have it.
I feel very sane. Like even when I had to go to the office at the beginning of the week, this week, I had to make it at the beginning of the week because I needed recovery time to show up for this. And even with showing up for things that you have constantly been showing up for, you still have that sort of struggle because it's a conscious decision every single time. So nothing kind of comes effortlessly.
Nothing comes effortlessly. Even today, like I'm late. I woke up at 6 a.m.
Valerie, please.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I woke up at 6 a.m. to make sure. And even still, So it's to say that it is, and I'm so glad that you put buffer time in.
Yeah, because I was just like, I feel like.
Yeah, that, and I love to see that. I really do appreciate it. But it really just goes to show how so much of it is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's hard. I think these are it's why it's why it's important to have the conversation, because people need to know where we're spending the energy, where we're making the trade-offs, where we're making the decisions, because people aren't doing it on purpose.
And for people like, let's say us, that having the systems that normal people have, like you say, put in a diary, or it takes 21 days to build a habit. I've been going to the gym for 13 weeks straight.
Amazing. Congrats.
If I miss going next week, I won't go to the gym again until like December. And I know that. And yeah, for us that we had this struggle building habits, systems, all of that. What has worked for you so far?
I think it has been a mental reframe, because I recently did a talk about this, and my talk, I think people were expecting it to be, yes, this framework and this and
There is
that.
never a framework.
There is it. It might work for a little bit, and I always say, enjoy it. If it's working for that little bit, and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when you fall off, don't think of it as falling off. It's like, okay, that's come to a close. I wonder what the next thing will be. There has to be a philosophy in your mind of sort of like moving forward. I have to move forward. And it might be with a new system this time around. You can't see falling off as failure. You can't. It just has to be a close to that. And then, okay, I might come to back to that. That's why it's been for me, because I had 12 weeks that I did consistently. I had a trainer. That was great. And then it got to October and things with Koala started picking up.
Yeah.
So something has to give. Something has to give. And I haven't been exercising consistently since, or eating right or anything. But I am getting a lot done when it comes to Koala. So you can't have everything. You do have to pick what this current season is about and then build the systems around that. But no, it might be temporary.
It's really heartbreaking that it might be temporary, that nothing really just sticks. But speaking of Koala, when did you realize that you had to build that?
I think it was after burning out. And burning out for me was, because I was trying to figure out what is wrong with me. My stress levels were really, really high. I was drinking a lot. I was, trying to manage the stress in whatever way. And this is after diagnosis. So it wasn't even that.
With your medication at that point?
Yeah, I was on medication.
So wait, medication doesn't just be like, you get it, magic fix.
That's the mistake I made.
Yeah.
Because I knew people had said, yeah, there's strategies you need to employ. I was like, I'm built different. I was like, I'm going to get this medication and I know what I need to work on. I know I need to concentrate on. I'm going to be like this. It's going to work. It's going to work. If anything, it probably accelerated getting to burnout, because now I could concentrate. I could stay up, but on the wrong thing. So I would hyper focus on TikTok.
So imagine like finally having focus and it's on TikTok. That's like 12 hours.
Or even if it's work as a designer, I'm now changing the radius of the thing, trying to get it perfect. And then I'm speaking to my manager like, this is what you need to, that doesn't need to be perfect. Like that prioritization, just going really, really deep and getting this thing really, really right, but it's not the right thing to focus on. And also with the medication as well, because we have hyperfocus.
Yeah.
I can be in one spot for 30 hours.
One thing I used to do, I feel like I still do it. I reward myself with a toilet. You finish this thing, go pee.
Yeah. And that's terrible for your body.
Yeah.
It's terrible for your body. We need food. It feels in a moment, it feels like, yes, this is the right thing. I'm in the flow. No, you need to go eat. Like our body still needs those things, but we need external things to wake us up out of that'll break the hyperfocus. Because after like human focus, I think after about 3 hours, it deteriorates anyway. So probably the quality of what you're producing probably isn't that great after about 3 hours, especially if you haven't eaten. I had a pitch one time, hadn't eaten, hadn't drank properly, hadn't slept properly in like a week. And I got on stage and blanked.
Is that the boy you were talking about on TikTok?
Yeah. I mean, of course I did. I hadn't eaten, you know. So it's really important. I think that the question was, as far as, I was on medication. What was the question?
The question is like, why did you build Koala? How do you know that? Yeah, that's what's good.
Oh, yeah. So I had about a year of recovery. I was in therapy. And therapy was more so dealing with the anxiety.
Mm.
And I was dealing with the anxiety came from moving over here and losing my job, essentially. I was still carrying that into my new job where I was so afraid
that it will happen again.
So every single review wasn't just a review. It was do or die. So my body was in a state of like stress, like deep stress that I was putting onto myself because I hadn't let go of, maybe it's a bit of trauma from moving to a new country and losing your job, losing your stability. So with that, being a designer, being a product designer, really understanding the mechanics of ADHD as well, I knew that the tools that exist, they're just not enough. There is a way, especially with AI, and that's new technology that we have now, we can now really personalize. We can now get technology to do some of the things that our brains don't naturally do. And that's what Koala is.
With the burnout, which was the experience that shapes this, how has the journey of building this been like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a great time, if I'm being honest. I'm having a great time. I'm doing it full time. And with that is a drop in income. And it's temporary. It's, this is just a stage that I'm in. But I'm way happier than I was earning my full-time paycheck, working full-time.
Yeah, I was curious, like now that you mentioned it, that you're doing it full-time. There's this thing of, I don't know if you experienced it, like dealing with the lack of structure now because you are in charge of your own time. I always thought to myself that I would never work a 9 to 5. I thrived in the creativity of it all and everything. And then I realized when I was in uni, because I was a photographer at a point, that only time that I would do shoots is when like uni was in session. So when I had all the time to do my creative things, no. But when I had a structure, that's when I could produce somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I realized that, you know what, maybe I actually suck at being a freelancer. And I need a structure to survive, even though I hate structure. But I need to be able to know that I'm doing something 9 to 5 and then squeeze in the little 1 hour lunch break or time after work or the weekends, all the creative things I want to do. Right. So how has it been being in charge of your own time and you determining your structure?
Yeah, I mean, there really is no structure. I mean, I would like there to be, and I am working towards there being one. I have a routine that I don't follow, but it's there.
We know it exists, and that's
it exists. And I think I keep saying, okay, when this is done, then I'll start following it. When this is done, then I'll start following it. But I think it's just the phase that I'm in. It's really early stage. A lot of work does need to be put into it. And I think the only issue, it's like, I still need to make time to like eat. I have timers for eating to remind myself to eat. I have. Yeah.
That is thinking of it, I've actually not eaten well this week because I had a really busy week, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
I just forget to do breakfast and maybe dinner and I call it a day.
Yeah, I think one of the main things with ADHD is like, you will forget. You have to accept that you will forget. I have a thing with my keys. If I don't leave my keys, or back in uni, every single morning without fail, though I'm looking for those keys. 20 minutes.
Sound like a perler.
Oh, two of you in the same house.
Which of us in the same house? You understand the chaos?
Oh.
And I feel like I'm the one that is like more aware. So I have like structures. Like if I'm in the house with my keys, I move my bag so I can hear my keys before I close the door. So that's like my, let's say, coping mechanism. Because one day I forgot my keys when I was going to the gym, and he had to like take an Uber back to open the door for me. So yeah,
it only takes one minute, one moment. You have to get sick of it, and then it's like, okay, Val, when you get home, immediately put your keys on the desk. And I've been doing that. That's one thing that I actually have done consistently. My keys are always on the table. That's a win.
That is a win. That's a win. And you have to take your wins. So are you trying to raise funds for Koala?
I'm not currently. I'm bootstrapping.
Yes, bootstrapping day.
It's fine because I can do a lot. I think that's one of my strengths. I can adapt. I can figure things out. I don't know how to code, but there are new tools now that I don't need to know how to code. I need to know what I want. I need to know the design. I need to know what I'm building really, really deeply. And then I've been able to build it. So it's working, and there's grant funding available. That in itself is a job. So I'm doing all the things right now, but it's only for the moment. We already have customers. We have some paying. And now it's just a question of figure out what the right thing to do, what we're doing right, do more of that, what I'm not doing quite as well, fix it, or bring someone on who can help out with that. And that's it. It's just, problem solving.
I feel like ADHDers are really good, like problem solving, pattern recognition, even working well under pressure. I feel like those things, even though I don't like when people say ADHD is a superpower, because I feel like it's kind of consumes, but that is your superpower. But I have the superpower and I can't get out of bed, or it's really difficult for me to do anything, and it takes a lot of brain power to do it. With having to raise grants, like, do people understand when you're pitching how important it is to cater to ADHD and neurodiversity, or they just think that we can just do fintech, for instance?
Yeah, even it's hard, and that's why I haven't put a lot of my focus into fundraising. I did it for like 4 weeks last year. I was speaking to investors. I was speaking to people with like VC people. And I was reading the stats, and I'm, like I said, I think I'm built different. So I see the stats of like 0.2 or 0.4% of funding goes to Black women.
Yeah.
I'm like, who cares? Like, it might be different for me. And I think it's a good approach to have in life in general. Like, mine might be different. But then there's a lot of, it might be different, but there's still a cost, right?
Yeah.
And there's still time, there's still energy and effort you have to put into it. And I was like, I would rather do the thing I'm good at, which is building. And put my energy into speaking to customers, figuring this out, solving that problem. Because you're going to have to spend the energy regardless.
Yeah.
So I would rather put that energy into something I'm sure of, which is myself. And I've gotten where I am right now based off of like my own efforts. And I'm not saying that I want to, this isn't, hyper independence. It's not that. It's just, you have to pick your battles. And then I pick the battles that I know I can like win.
I was good to your speaking. Because like, when you mentioned that you were trying to improve your speaking, I resonated with that so much, because it feels like if you can't express what you need to, you won't be able to get the results you want to.
Yeah.
And if we see like over time, the people that usually get what they want or usually are heard, even if what you're saying is stupid, or the people that are saying it and are saying it loudly and saying it well.
With confidence. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what are you doing now to improve that?
So I really like that you've asked this, because it's a huge topic in my brain right now, because it's the next thing I've been building, and I've been building kind of silently. posts here and there, but the little I've done has really helped Koala. So I'm like, okay, this is something that needs to be done. I need to speak. But I was saying to myself this morning that why do I keep telling myself I'm not good at speaking? Like, why do I keep saying that to myself? And it might not be my top strength, but it's just something I'm not practicing. And with more practice, some people just have confidence and they're born, gifted the gab.
Yeah.
But other people have successfully developed that skill. So right now, I attended a talk by, I don't know if you know Amber Shand.
Yes.
Yes.
On LinkedIn.
Yeah, she's amazing. We actually met up, on Zoom a few days ago. So I attended one of her webinars and we're going to work on it together as well. And I really think a lot of it is just practice, putting in the reps. So that's what I'm doing. When I got up on stage and I went blank, I was like, I need to book another one. I need to pitch again because this can't become a thing. It can't become a fear in my head that I have that, oh my God, I can't let that enter my psyche, become an identity thing. I can't let that happen. So it's just something that I'm working on and putting the reps in for. And in time, it will become a strength.
Yeah, I just want to say, we've been talking for, and you sound good.
So one-on-one conversation, that's my bag. I love a convo. I'm a DMCer. It's speaking publicly, because I'm saying all of that.
Yeah.
It's one way that I don't love. I love to bounce,
Yeah, mine is the opposite.
Really?
I have done talks. I've moved the room. I would say I like a gift of the gab, but I will make you laugh.
No, your voice is silk right now. You're smooth,
Yeah.
You're good at it.
Yeah, but it's the one-on-one that is now the issue.
Why?
I don't know. That's why I started the podcast. So
there you go.
Speaking to the camera, speaking one-on-one, asking the right questions. Also, really recently, I started having some sort of fear presenting at work, so my designs, but then not presenting in person, presenting online. I was just like, this does not make sense. If we're doing the same presentation in person, no issues, but online, I'm like, I just would write a script and just read the script. This is a terrible presentation. So I got someone that would give me feedback
in work.
Yeah. And then I think I had to present something yesterday from a sprint we did, which went okay. But I found myself before that time very nervous. And I was just like, this actually doesn't make sense. Why am I nervous? I had to record myself speaking, going to my points and all that 10 minutes before this meeting. And then I went to this whole, I think that's in my hacker focus actually. There's one of them on the type. I bought 4 books on speaking because of this. Who knows if I would read it? But wow.
Communication is important though. Very true. Even with Koala, I've changed a tagline a few times because I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I know it works. I know the need for it. But it's not something that exists.
Yeah.
What I'm building with Koala does not exist. So there's no reference. I'm creating this category. And so it's finding the right words that will make sense for the people who it's built for.
Why the name Koala?
I love that question. Interestingly, it was initially called Floda. And this was just because I needed a name to register it, whatever. And I was thinking, okay, we are people with ADHD. When we're in the flow of things, we're there. It's just getting there. So it's something that gets us there into that place of deep focus and flow where we can do our thing. But then I was doing customer interviews, so speaking with people, just before I built anything. And it kind of reminded me of my own personal experience where people with neurodivergence generally, you can be in a great company but have a terrible manager, let's say. And how you present, the symptoms that you experience, executive function, whatever, you will just have a terrible time. You're not going to be, like, let's say, productive or happy, healthy, whatever. You could be in a, let's say, a worse company with a great manager, great support, and you will still find yourself doing okay. So it tends not to be about us. Like, we have our skills, we have our challenges, our strengths. Our environment matters so much. And Koala, it just, when you say it has a feeling of like safety.
Actually true.
They're cute. Well, my koalas are cute. I don't actually think koalas are that cute.
They have like animal stiffness.
Yeah, and they be having
Why is it from afar? They actually are quite cute.
I mean, they're
When they're animated.
Yes, mine are animated. Mine have gone to Hollywood, so Disney. So my koalas are cute, and like people love the koalas, and I think as well, even beyond how they look, you know, koalas just do their own thing. They just be in the trees collecting the leaves. You know what I mean? They're just doing their thing, and we all love koalas. We don't have issues with koalas, you know.
No.
And they're not involved in like the law of the jungle and dog eat dog hustle. They're just doing their thing. And I think I want to live in a world where you can show up to work, whatever that is, be yourself, not feel like you need to mask, and get stuff done. And be left alone if you want to be left alone, be involved if you want to be involved, whatever. We just do what we need to do and live good.
What do you think would work in workspaces or a manager, what they can do to help people with ADHD?
I think a lot of people need training. Like, just a lot of companies need to know when to bring in expertise. People, it's quite obnoxious, in my opinion, for someone, let's say, that's a line report, to say, I have ADHD, and you think you know how to deal with that. And it's because a lot of people have biases that haven't been interrogated or they don't have the education for. Because they have these biases, they don't seek out the education, they don't seek out the expertise. And then they mistreat people because they think they know everything, but they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Seek out experienced professionals.
I remember being told at one point, when I mentioned I was struggling with something, because like I wasn't really producing as much as I would usually produce. I'm just like, generally I find this work boring, this particular topic boring, and I'm trying and I'm just struggling through it. And with the awareness that I was like going to like the ADHD diagnosis and stuff, and I'd been told that, oh, but other people were not struggling with it. At that point, I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, yeah, but in this instance, I'm telling you that I'm struggling with this thing.
What does that have to do with the price of rent? Like, why are you telling me this? Other people aren't struggling. Okay, and?
Yeah. Am I supposed to magically stop struggling? So that is frustrating. But as somebody with ADHD in the workplace, what things can you advocate for yourself for? What adjustments can you ask for? Especially with like maybe an institution, a company that can give that.
So it really comes down to your actual experiences. So you have to be really, really honest in where you are sort of self-adjusting, and then seeing if you can hand over those self-adjustments to other external things. So for example, if you struggle with 9 a.m. starts because your time is off, as in you struggle to get sleep. So that is always, maybe you make it every single day at 9 a.m., but you are struggling to do that. It's gonna affect you in other ways. Maybe your concentration isn't there. Maybe, you zone out, whatever. It would be better for you to have flexible timing.
So like asking for that.
Asking
I start later in the day.
Yes.
Then I end later in the day.
Exactly. And it needs to be official, it needs to be put on paper. That way you know that you're allowed to. It's not enough for someone to say, oh yeah, sure, it's okay because you'll still feel self-conscious about it. It needs to be documented. It needs to be officially recognized that these are adjustments so that you feel comfortable you don't feel like you're different, because I've had that before where I've had adjustments and I still feel like everyone is like, oh, why is Valerie was late? I'm not late. I have flexible timing. These things need to be official. And that's on the company, and you have rights. Like, period. You will always have rights. So, and it's not to say that every company will respect those rights and will behave correctly. And that's a decision that every individual has to make. Not everyone will be comfortable making it, but it's important that we're represented in the numbers, in the metrics. Like, people are asking for adjustments. If you're denied, there's something that can be done about that. There's tribunals, there's ACAS, there's mediation, there's lots of different things available for you to actually seek help, because it's in legislation. We have rights.
I've been thinking about like asking for some adjustments, but I don't even know what to ask for at this point. And I wish that they'll be like, okay, for ADHD, maybe this will help you, this will help, this will help you. And I think, like you mentioned, that flexible timing might be, I don't even know if early or later would help me at this point.
What you need to do an occupational health assessment, because it's not on the company either. It's on an expert. So, and they're not even perfect either, the assessors. But I remember when I got mine, I cried because it felt like, oh my God, I've been carrying so much, and there's actually help, and there's people who know that I am struggling, that I'm not lazy, or I'm not out of time, or that, well, I am out of time, but that like, it's not like a purposeful thing. Like, oh, there's something for this help available, and I didn't know. I just did not know. So there is help available. You can get an occupational health assessment, and they give you a report which will tell you all the different adjustments that can be made for you. Yeah, so it's not the company. Usually they get someone external to do that when it's done correctly.
Okay, is that expensive?
It's not. It's the company that has to do that, because they have to basically, like, ADHD is a disability. It is a disability. So you're covered by the Equality Act. And with that, you need to be on the same level playing field as someone who doesn't have ADHD, as someone who doesn't take an extra hour to get ready in the morning, or who doesn't have to use noise cancelling headphones so that they aren't distracted by noises, who, you have to work from home because it takes a lot of energy and effort to get into the office. Those things, other people are able to kind of like go about work without those things. For you, it adds so much. So the point of adjustments is to level that playing field so that it's not all on you. And with the work that I do, I very rarely say to individuals, this is what you have to do. No, this is what your workplace has to do. This is what your manager has to do. This is what your environment has to do. You need to be supported, because you're already probably working, like you, I'm talking to you now. You're already probably doing so many things to try and help yourself. You are.
I don't want to cry. But yeah.
We have been trying since I was a little girl. I've been doing everything to try and help myself. You have to. So at some point, you have to recognize it's not on us. It's not on us.
When you mentioned ADHD as a disability, which I don't know, for some reason that never clicked to me. When you got your diagnosis, did you get any like feedback from your family, or just a thing you did and went? Because, when you tell like African parents that it seems as if I'm struggling with setting up, okay, they cannot have, it's because you're sad, you're always on your phone, you're always doing this. So did you get anything in that sort of response?
I don't even remember what my parents said initially. I think both of them, in my opinion, have traits, so they can relate to some of the traits. But my mom is a very, very like hardworking woman, and she's always been the one that thought you're lazy. Like, what are you doing? And another parent said, she's a Virgo as well. Like, she is very like, if I'm not wearing earrings, wear your earrings, that type of thing. So she's always kind of made me a little bit self-conscious, like conscious of myself, because she is just so like precise. She's a very sharp woman. But my dad, I think probably the majority of my traits might come from him. So he's just a little bit more easygoing, But both of them are very much themselves. So when I did share with them some of these things, it wasn't no, that's Robert. It wasn't that type of response. It was more so, they were kind of like, it's these gadgets. They were like, okay, you like being on your phone and this and that. And I was like, no, it's not that. But more recently, last Christmas, I was really open and very firm about my challenges and I was really patient as well, really explained it with both of them. And my mom took it in, and then she called me in January and she was telling me that one of her colleagues actually told her that he has ADHD, and she was actually able to like support him.
That's lucky.
And she called me and she was like, all the things that you were saying, like just this Christmas, she was like, he was saying as well. So it's like it's taken a few years to kind of get here. But I've had to really validate that, yeah, no, these experiences are real. You're not going to tell me that I was just lazy or I was distracted.
Or forgetful.
Like, yeah, I am forgetful, but it's not my fault I'm forgetful. Like, what am I meant to do? So, yeah, they now definitely recognize it, and it means a lot.
Yeah, that's nice to get to that point. At least you have answers or explanations to struggles you had in your childhood and even like in your relationship with them. Because for me, I was the forgetful child. My mom would send me to get something from a bag. Immediately, I'd cross the threshold of a door, gone. I'm waiting for him to lie down or something. So Jack Mike is super forgetful. And honestly, I thought I was. And then that made me become really iffy about losing things. So when I lose something, I kind of just almost break down, which has been interesting to then find the things, because 2 things I lost. I lost my glasses. By the way, I have 2 pairs of glasses just in case. I lost my glasses and I lost my AirPod case. My glasses I lost in December. I found in a coat. Okay. On Monday. My AirPod case, I got new AirPods because I couldn't find the case. I lost that. I left on the train. I found the AirPods today in this jacket. Okay. So I'm just like, I actually don't lose things. I just forgot where it was. Yeah. So I'm not careless like that I was. Yeah. So yeah, I would say this conversation has been really like comforting and validating. Good. Especially like knowing next steps on what I would take, and whoever is watching, if they think they have ADHD or they feel like they've had similar struggles, they know what to do next, they make conversations that they can have, and just generally know that they're not alone, which is the entire essence of this podcast, having conversations that you probably did not have when you were a child, and now you're figuring out it's out as an adult, and then you think that you're the only one trying to figure this thing out by yourself. Yeah. So yeah, you're not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I think that's the biggest, what I want to be the takeaway for people. You're not alone. It's not only you. I think the moment you asked before, what was the moment where I sort of knew? It was when we were preparing for, I think, what would be A-levels here in Ireland. It's the leaving certificate. And my friend was telling me that she went to the library and she studied for 8 hours, whatever. But I was like, oh yeah, I know, but you didn't actually study. She was at me like, why would I go somewhere and not study? I was like, okay, no, but no one actually goes to the library to study. We just go out, pretend we're right. And she was like, no. Like, I study.
That is cozy.
For me to go to a library, and it's not even, like, I'm trying, obviously, but I know I get distracted by things, or, you know, I then have to go up and get something to eat, sit down, and then I need to check all those things. So nothing actually sinks in. She's like, no, I can go and study. That's when I knew. But you'll go through your entire life thinking, everyone does this. Everyone struggles with this. Some people are living really normal lives.
Yeah, that's what I realized, that, you know, some people actually wake up and don't struggle. They just they don't have to think about actually brushing their teeth.
Yes.
You know, go and brush your teeth.
Yes. I gave an example to my former flatmate, and we were talking about going to the gym because she's on like a health journey, and she's like, oh, I'm going to the gym. And I was like, see that feeling? Go back. That's me for every single thing that I do. Every single thing. And she was like, that's what made it click. After living together for like 4 years, that's what made it click, that, oh wait, that's exhausting.
That's like a forever mental load you carry. Like, never drop.
Everything, as in I'm negotiating getting out of bed. I'm negotiating walking downstairs. I'm to get water so I can take my medication. A day full of even you talking about walking to get something from your mom's bag, but forgetting. You obviously have to then go back and then you remember. And then that's effort.
The ADHD tax, which even in adulthood is not just maybe you're a child and you spill something. It is you are paying money for losing your keys. You're paying money because you didn't book your train ticket on time.
Yeah.
You're paying money because you lost something, so you have to replace it this time. And I don't know, should I start having a budget for ADHD? £50 just in case something happens. Like, it's crazy dealing with it.
What I will say on that is pay it up front. So it is better, let's say you have a virtual assistant that you're paying for, or something that you're paying for, that an accountant, if you run a business, whatever, you pay it so that it's their responsibility, because otherwise you'll pay it later on. Yeah. Somehow, somewhere you're paying. So it's better that at least there's a reduction in stress. There's a reduction in mental load. There's offset it somehow, pay it up front.
Because even coming here today, the easiest stuff I had to pay is quite. I just want to talk about it. Yeah. Because it was not in my budget.
We'll talk. Because, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. So yeah, love this conversation. This has been amazing. I think you're the first person that I've actually been able to talk about this with. Because I feel like maybe I cover my partner who is just coming to terms with the fact that he might have ADHD. That is really has gone through like the process, or is still going through the process of dealing with it and just having this affect their day-to-day lives. Like when you mentioned the library, took me back to A-level where I would go to library. Like I'll be in the library, skip church because I was in a boarding A-levels, and I'll be there in the library. I'll be there in the library from like maybe 10 till about, I think prep ended by 10. So I'm there for 12 hours. What will I do in the library? Watch Game of Thrones. Listen to Rihanna's anti-album. Try to read something. Go to my room and pick like 10 things that I forgot to bring. And someone like, oh my gosh, she's been in the library for 12 hours. Which maybe altogether I've done 2 hours productive things, but I have to be in that library to be in that space to get me there. And I think no one else really understood why I was just always sat there, just in case my brain decides to click and like, yes, read. You can read one chapter today and it sticks. Yeah. So yeah, finding someone that can relate deeply to those particular things, I finally feel seen to a very large extent. Thank you for seeing me. So for the people, where can they find you? Where can they find Koala? You can share that.
Yeah, so I'm Valerie Oyiki. Koala is Koala for work. Valerie Oyiki on everything. I think on TikTok it's like Big VO. As TikTok. Yeah, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. What else is there? Yeah, website koalaforwork.com. And from there, sign up for early access. We're building something that's going to really, at least when it comes to work, you know that, okay, when it comes to work, I have something that helps me.
That's amazing. And it's amazing what you're building, because I'm signed up too. It's just that I just need to open it.
That's the thing. All of you guys just sat there. Open it. Come on.
I think like the first day.
So
the first day I opened, I was like, okay, great. I think also maybe it helps me to set up something, because I put the thing I wanted to do there.
Okay, you've opened it.
Yeah, I opened it, put the task. I think maybe just the process of putting the task. I actually kind of like started up the task.
Yeah.
I think now it's finishing the task.
So it's like
so I've done it. It's like writing something.
Oh, you're in there for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to, I've done like the first draft. So I have to like refine. And I think maybe something that I also struggle with is finishing. Like if I have to do like documentation from design, I did documentation to the entire Friday. Documentation is really not that long for my developers. It's just the process of starting hard, the process of finally finishing hard, because finally finishing is looking at details. In school, I never read over my essays for exams. I wrote "Say People Should Be Happy." I wrote this essay.
Yeah, I feel that one
exactly. Whatever mistakes you find, I tried my best. Honestly, I would never put in my resume attention to detail. Would never. Fast learner, yes. Attention to detail. What you see.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Awana was fun I don't know how you introduced me, but like I got my friends to like, I was like, guys, how would you introduce me?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cause I was like, oh my God, I'm Valerie. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that was kind of like an amalgamation of what my friends.
Yeah, I think the mixed bag being like a walking contradiction is such a big thing.
Yeah.
Because even when I was talking to my partner, just like, you know, he tries his best to understand, but it just feels like once he gets it, something kind of changes. So maybe I like eating eggs, this everything. So he puts eggs with everything, and it's just like, no. So if it's a bread, it has to be sunny side up, and if it's this, it has to be scrambled, but no egg if the oats are cold, something like that. And it's just like, we get you, then we don't get you. We get you, then don't get you. In the same, like,
I was like, me too. Get me, I get me, and then I don't get me.
I'm trying to figure out myself.
Yes.
So we are actually figuring out
together.
Exactly. Like, but I think like it's good. Like when I saw a mixed bag and I saw like deeply passionate, I feel like, you know what makes sense, because I feel, do you have like a very strong sense of justice, for instance? A minister of why?
Yeah, it was one of my friends that said that. She was like, she got me a Curious George type babe. I was like, okay, the monkey. That's crazy. How can you say that? But yeah, I always need to know why. Like, okay,
Why do I have to do this?
Why do I have to do this? Why did you do that? I want to understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like maybe it's part of like the pattern thing. So maybe I can then predict you the next time.
Yeah.
So I know I refer to my partner a couple of times, but it's a person that like lives close proximity with me. And maybe if he puts the cup there, I'm just like, why did you put the cup there? So then I think also maybe it's the designer also. So for instance, I noticed he used to keep the keys somewhere. I'm just like, okay, you keep the keys somewhere. Is this like, what's the thing called? Where when you have like a pavement that is built and people like take the grass.
Yeah.
A preferred path?
Preferred path.
Yeah, it's like a preferred path for you. It seems like it's easier for you to, and then I put like a nice bowl there to make it easy for you to like pull your keys. So I just want to know why you do this thing. I think it's just very interesting to know people's thought process behind.
What is your thought process behind that? Like, I really love it. I love to understand.
Yeah, I feel like for people that don't, because just like how you was asking me why I'm doing something.
And some people will see, especially, oh my God, like going into it with family. That was me and my mom.
Insulting.
Yeah, basketballs. That was our basketballs. Because I'm like, okay, why? Like, and she's thinking I'm being defiant. I was like, no, bro, I just want to
understand you.
I want to understand you.
Yeah, so next time, like, if you do this, I'm just like, I know.
I might still do it, but I want to know, okay, why has that offended you?
Honestly, yeah. Do you find yourself like over explaining?
Yeah. So it's something I'm working on, but I still do it.
Yeah.
So I want you to understand why I did it.
Yeah.
But people don't care.
No, I need you to care. I need you to care about this point of view so you can see. Because I feel like if it's on the flip side, and you tell me, I think I will see it from your point of view, and you're like, okay, you know what? I see why you did that. It's not the best decision.
But I get it. Sense. Yeah. See, like very little actually bothers me, but I always want to understand. You know, like I can see most sides to anything.
Exactly.
So I speak to you, and I'm like, okay, I do get your point of view. I speak to someone, I do get your point of view. You know. And of course, you would make that decision because of X in your childhood and that happening to you. And that it makes sense. So it's hard for me to be mad at people because it's like, okay, well, of course you did, you know? But I think it's important for us to hone that in. It's like, that's actually not my business. You know? Like, if you like, how are these issues when it comes to like my boundaries and if it's harmful to me, then understanding you isn't the same as I need to now, like, allow it and let you do anything. Like, no, you still need to have boundaries. Why is like the information? I want to know. Curious George.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So it's also, I don't know if that actually determines I feel like this conversation could go on.
On and on and on. No, two ADHD people, you actually don't need
Thinking of that, like, did that actually, like, determine why one of my most successful subjects in A-levels and even A-level was sociology. So people were just giving reasons as to why they supported things. That was what sociology was.
How interesting.
I got like 92% in sociology. History, I got an A. Why? Gist. It was gist. I said, yeah, I know your gist. I can write it down in the exam.
It's memorable.
Yeah. So just that kind of makes sense. But then when I studied law, I just like, voila.
Oh, okay, studied law.
I studied law.
I did a module on law and I was sleeping in that class.
It was so boring. The only thing I liked was like intellectual property law.
Okay.
For some reason, and gender in the law, because gender, I do love a woman. It's anything.
Yeah, that's justice. It's like you're rising.
Exactly. So, I think I was pretty good with remembering the case law. So, whatever case we are referring to, the story behind it, I would remember. Will I remember the name exactly? Sometimes I might, but do I know like the reason why? I can't tell you like the reason why for that case. I think that is what helps me. Like, studying law, but I hated every minute of it, which I think is a constant occurrence in this podcast. Me talking about my hateful law.
Okay.
It was a struggling time. Yeah. I was just like, I should just do sociology. But then I wouldn't know what to do in my life. Even with, I didn't know what.
But you're doing product design.
See. Anyway, we've come to the end of the podcast.
You said as if like, yeah, I was still in big law or whatever. That you're.
I thought I was going to end up being a lawyer.
You thought
that when I was 16. But I also wanted to be fashion designer. It was this whole thing.
You wanted to be a lot of things.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys for watching. I was just me and you. Hi.
See you guys in the next one.
All right, bye. I won't see you in the next one, but bye.